typical soil of Champagne, you've seen it at Moët
Yeah.
Did they explain you why this soil is such important for us?
It was chalk, so it's good for the grapes for Champagne.
Yes, it's good for the grapes. It's good for the preservation of Champagne because it keeps the temperature as well as the humidity, 12 degrees Celsius and 80% humidity. And it's good for the grapes because it keeps the water in the soil. It's like a sponge. So when it's too hot outside, the roots, can go 30 meters downstairs to get irrigated by themselves because in France it is forbidden to irrigate the vineyards.
Oh, okay.
So over there is the second fermentation, which we call that aging on lees. It's a minimum of 15 months in this position, on a flat position. So that's the regulation made by the CIVC. To have the appellation Champagne, you need to keep it 15 months. But in reality, we keep the wine much longer, between 2 to 3 years for the premium range, and even more for our prestigious cuvée. So our Comte de Main Grand Cru, the Champagne will stay on flat position between 4 to 5 years minimum.
Okay.
And over here you have vintage coming from the year 2000, in which we had only 266 bottles left.
Wow.
So do you know that the bigger the bottle of Champagne, the better the wine?
Yeah, it tastes different, yeah.
It tastes, yes, definitely. So it's not common to do the fermentation in the very big size of Champagne, but here we also do the fermentation in the Jéroboam. Jéroboam, it is 3 liters of wine. So 4 bottles of Champagne. Usually, all the houses of Champagne are mixing 4 bottles after the fermentation in the Jéroboam. And in this case, it doesn't change anything to the flavor of the wine. It's really important to make the fermentation inside the Jéroboam. Thanks to that, you will have less oxygen coming in the bottle, so less oxidation, better development for the wine. A magnum or a bigger size, if the fermentation is made in the bottle, the cost will be a little bit more expensive because the bigger, you can keep it longer because less and less oxygen coming in, so much better for you to preserve it at home. The final step is the adding of liquor of expedition. It's why you talk about at the beginning in the winery. So the dosage, we decide if we want brut, sec or demi-sec champagne. So we had more or less sugar depending of what we want to do, but also depending on each market we are sending our bottles. For example, in US and in Asia, the people there are drinking sweeter wines, sweeter champagne, so we generally had a little bit more of sugar. So for us, the brut champagne will always be between 8 to 9 grams per liter of sugar. Because our Premier Cru champagne is very round and very smooth and creamy, toasted bread, brioche aromas, it fits to the American palate, so we don't need to add more sugar. But the final customer will be looking for sec or demi-sec champagne because it's much sweeter. That's the champagne which are selling the most, especially down south United States, because in the north, like New York, Washington DC, Illinois, etc., they are drinking a little bit drier. So really depend on which state you are.